following passage will manifest the podcast demon into flesh. Ahem.
Patreon.com/RecessCast Productions.
The book also says the spell will give you early access, bonus episodes, and exclusive content to anyone listening to the show. Pretty good deal. The only catch is you just got to pay a little less than the cost of your soul each month. You know, not a bad demon deal, if I say so myself. I'll just recite it again so y'all can catch it. That's
Patreon.com/RecessCast Productions.
Enjoy the show. In 1300 AD, they claimed this podcast would be the one to destroy the world. The quote-unquote idiots from the Midwest, as I recall. I take offense at that. We're still a few months away from actually destroying anything. Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only podcast that will make you rue the day you challenged us. I'm your host, AJ Waseska, and I'm joined by my always co-host, Ryan Metters.
I hope we don't summon any demons this evening. It's fine.
No promises, no promises. And of course, our special guest for this episode is Derek McDermott.
Don't worry, I brought my boomstick.
Nice.
In case you didn't catch what episode we're doing, you'll find out after hearing all those lovely references. But first, you can follow us on the various platforms of choice down below. That includes Patreon, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google, Podcast Addict, all of them. Google us, you'll find us. You can also follow us on social media, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. And Ryan, if they want to email us directly to tell us their strange demon curses, where could they email us at?
Oh, sure. They can email us at Kunda Astrata Mundos Igrets Guts Nos Vera. Excuse me. Sorry, I slipped into an incantation there. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
You know, that happens this time of night usually, you know. I gotta sit and chill after you said that. I'm not sure what happened exactly.
I gotta watch out for that. Sorry, guys. My bad.
The correct words are Klatu Verata Nictu. Hey.
You're such a Hermione Granger. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
It's Kunda, not Kunda.
My geekdom has only just begun, guys. You have no idea.
This will be that episode. I can feel it. So, today we are doing, as you probably guessed, to round out our Halloween season of Revenge of the Sequels. For now, we will be doing the 1987 cult horror classic Evil Dead 2. No, we did not do Evil Dead 1. You are not mistaken. Anyway, written by and directed by Sam Raimi, and additional writing credits to Scott Spiegel. The film earned a total box office of $5,923,000, which is less than double what it cost. But hey, you know what? That's a profit still somewhere.
Hey, money back is still money back.
I can't remember what our numbers we saw for Slither were, but I think they were pretty... Actually, no, Slither didn't make anything back. So yeah, this is at least a bit better than Slither.
Oh my god, did Slither not make anything? Wow.
I don't think it did, no.
And there's some reason this movie didn't get released in as many theaters because it was unrated.
Yeah.
Because they fought with the ratings board because the ratings board wanted to give it an X rating.
What? Oh man. Okay, hold on to that. We got to get deeper into that after the intro.
Indeed. The cast includes a good list of names here. We got Lou Hancock, John Peaks, Richard Damier, Denise Bixler, Ted Raimi, Cassie Wesley DePaiva. I'm gonna go with that. Dan Hicks, Sarah Berry, and some guy. I don't know. I've never heard of him before. Bruce Campbell. I think he's the soup guy. I don't know.
Hey, you bounded the king.
This movie has won no awards, but it did get 5 nominations. We don't read nominations, so we only read winners here. So Ryan, over to you for fun facts.
Damn, I can feel Derek seething over there, but we'll get some fun facts in here for you.
That's right. Aaron's gonna get sent to a lot of bad calls next weekend.
Just poking fun.
Well, to soothe him, we do have 3 fun facts for you this evening. often considered to be a remake of the Evil Dead 1981, this one. However, this is not accurate. The rights to show scenes from the original could not be obtained to recap what happened, so the beginning was remade to explain how Ash got to the cabin, etc. Raimi's original idea for the sequel was to toss the character of Ash through a time portal to the Middle Ages. This ultimately became the plot of Army of Darkness in 1992, which was the third installment of this franchise. I was wondering why they decided to do a recap with a completely different actress and just to X out the other 3 people that came with them to the cabin?
Hey, in the third one, they use yet another actress in the recap. It's Bridget Fonda in the third one.
I feel like they're doing that as a joke more than anything at this point.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a movie as self-aware and willing to poke fun at itself. So I was laughing my ass off while watching it. It might have also had to do with the rum and coke. Anyway, on the second fun fact for the evening, the scene where Ash is doused in blood coming from the walls was filmed by placing Bruce Campbell horizontally on the floor and then pouring gallons of fake blood on him from above. The scene was filmed with the camera turned 90 degrees to create the illusion that he was standing upright. So much blood was dumped on Campbell that not only did he feel like he was nearly drowning, he would also produce red snot for the next 2 weeks every time he blew his nose. To make matters worse, his insistence that the authentic Caro syrup formula was used to simulate the blood made him a target for every fly in the neighborhood. Good God.
Along with the fact that the entire cast was basically sharing one apartment.
Oh no.
That had one.
That had to be pretty gross.
With one shower. So it was a race every night to get home to wash that shit off you. Because there'd be a line.
Oh.
Because they all had it all over them.
Oh, gross. Oh, man.
It's just syrup. It's not like it's...
Yeah, but it's still going to make you uncomfortable after a while.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I'm thinking of just like all of them sharing a small apartment.
Yeah, well, that's what you did when you made independent films in the 80s.
Oh, my God. Well, the final fun fact for me this evening, the scene where Ash is doused in blood coming from the wall was filmed by... Wait, hold on!
I think that got...
Cagliostro!
I think that got double inserted there. I'm not sure what happened there.
I thought the rum and
I thought so, too.
I thought so, too, damn near. Hold on.
Hey, you don't need to worry. Derek's got hundreds of fun
Yes,
facts,
you know what? Actually, this is probably... I was going to give you an opportunity after I read the last fun fact, but since a spot has opened up, Derek, what is your best fun fact from this movie to fill it out?
So, the scene when Bruce Campbell flies through the air, when the demon gets him outside, and he flies through the air, it shows him spinning, getting hit by branches. So, how they did that was they basically had a crane car with a crucifix up on the crane. They tied Bruce Campbell to it, and then drove. They found like a mile-long dirt road in North Carolina where they're filming it, and they drove down the road while people lined up with branches, hitting Bruce Campbell with branches as they drove by, and I mean hitting Bruce Campbell with branches. And the first one in line was Sam Raimi.
Oh my God.
And then he'd get back in line. And Sam, they're good friends, and throughout the entire making of the film, Sam's like, no, really hit him. He can take it. He'll be fine. He got dislocated bones. They just slammed him. And they did it through the whole movie. Like when the redneck knocks him out, after he shoots through the door and hits his wife, he misaimed his two-fisted punch. It was supposed to be like an inch above Bruce, and he accidentally literally hit Bruce and knocked him out and knocked his teeth loose.
Oh my God.
But as bad as he treated Bruce Campbell, he treated his younger brother Ted Raimi much, much worse. the demon in the fat suit, the mom, that's Ted Raimi. That's all plaster and plastic, and he was in it all day of the shoot. Kurtzman would show, like, when they took the feet off, you would dump inches of sweat out. He was losing pounds
I
a
think the
day.
Godzilla suits had the same problem like that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know who Ted Raimi
I've never
is?
seen him, actually.
Did either of you ever watch Xena Warrior Princess and
I missed
Hercules?
those.
Yes.
Yeah, he was Joxer the Mighty. That's Ted Raimi.
Oh my god.
Because those shows were produced by Rob Tapert, who's a producer of this movie, and the director. They produced at least the first season of those shows. Rob Tapert stayed with them till the end.
Oh my
But,
god, my
yes.
childhood.
And he was like 19 when they made this movie, if even that. And the makeup guys were like, Sam, do we need to like lay off Ted? He goes, no, he's young, he can take it. Fuck.
I like Sam Raimi's like craft. He makes really solid films. He seems like he's a bit of an asshole, though.
No, really, neither one of them were complaining either.
Oh no, I get that much. I think the two of them are like committed to the bit, but I think Sam's got to ease up a little bit, just a little bit.
Even Ted Raimi said, I was 20. I wanted to be in a movie. Like, Bruce Campbell did all of his own stunts. The only one he didn't do is when he fell down the stairs. He literally hit himself with all those plates. He flipped himself over. He did every one of those stunts. Like, his stuntman basically was just there for the mirror scene and the falling down the stairs scene.
You know, I felt like it's actually really, really interesting watching the Evil Dead 1 and 2 back to back, because I feel like 1 was trying to be kind of like true to the schlocky 80s horror vibe, where they were like really trying to do something in terms of horror, and then Evil Dead 2 was like, fuck it, let's have some fun.
Yeah, and the difference in the Bruce Campbell character, like in the first one, he's basically a coward.
I was waiting for this
90% of the movie.
I was waiting for this college student to become. This is my boomstick that I've seen in the memes. I was waiting for it, and I was just like, he's just a guy. He's just a 20-something-year-old.
And did you guys notice the shed scene, which is one of my favorite scenes? After he's got her severed head, he puts it in a vice grip.
Yeah.
If you look up, when her decapitated body comes in with the chainsaw, which I just love the scene when he pulls the curtain and the outline of the chainsaw's there.
Yes.
But there's no chainsaw.
Oh my god.
Like someone drew around the chainsaw.
I laughed my ass off.
If you look above the door when she breaks in, Freddy Krueger's gloves hanging there.
Yeah.
They did that because him and Wes Craven kept doing that to each other, which is why in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, she's watching Evil Dead.
Oh my god.
They kept doing that. Like, I think Wes Craven put a Darkman poster in one of his movies, which was a later Sam Raimi movie with Liam Neeson. Like, they kept doing this. So yeah, that's Freddy Krueger's glove.
I feel like if you're good friends with other directors, that's an easy thing to pull off.
And it's a fun homage to other ones.
Which means Ash and Freddy Krueger are in the same universe.
Oh god.
Which also means Ash and Jason Voorhees are in the same universe. Which is why they should have given us the Ash vs. Jason vs. Freddy movie.
I mean, we got Jason versus Freddy, but
they made the comic of it.
Ooh.
They did do a comic book of Ash vs. Jason.
I like comics.
Freddy.
I'm gonna look for
And
that
of
real
course-
quick.
And I'm pretty sure I know who wins.
Let's see if I can find it here real quick. While we're oh no, I gotta do a podcast. That's right.
I don't know if it was ever mass released.
Well, no, but I got a
seen
digital
pictures
thing
of
I
it.
could look for, a digital copy of it maybe, which would be very cool. We'll do some initial thoughts real quick. So, this is my first time seeing this, and I stuck to my original plan of just seeing this, not the first one, just to see if my findings were true, that you could watch this without the first one, just to see if it was true. And I appreciate that it held true. It's goofy, it's weird, but it's very fun. It's a nice break from the usual horror films I think we tackle more often. So I like what we got.
Well, and did you? There's things I can just bring up everything. You notice how none of the blood ever really looked like blood?
It looked more like water, almost like tomatoes. Yeah.
It was green. Well, green, black. They kept changing the colors of it. That was per their fight with the MPAA, as they were trying to get an R rating. So I don't know which version you guys watched. Did you see at the very beginning of the movie, that production company, like, it was a rose blooming? That was a fake production company. Dino De Laurentiis, the guy who produced this, who produced a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s. You guys probably recognize his name. His production company was not, they were contractually not able to release rated X films, which this was going to be. So they had to create like a fake company to release this as. And they did it all off the word of Stephen King. Stephen King was making Maximum Overdrive at the time, which I don't know if you guys have seen.
Yeah, Rosebud Releasing Corporation.
Yep, is a flaming pile of, whatever. But Dino De Laurentiis was producing it, and Stephen King loved the first Evil Dead so much that he basically talked Dino De Laurentiis in to producing this one.
So they just made up the production company as a cover?
Yeah. As a way to release it. He basically just started it for this one movie. They may have ended up making more movies under it. I don't know.
That is incredible.
Started for this one.
So, quick interruption. I did find the Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash comics. There's actually 2 series of them. The first one's a 6-issue run, and then the next one is a 6-issue run, but it's subtitled The Nightmare Warriors.
And I have no idea who made them. I don't think Bruce Campbell had anything to do with them.
Let's see if I can find out here.
Neither did Sam Raimi.
Written, let's see, it looks like it's written and the art's done by James Corrick and Jason Craig, and then the other one was done by James Corrick and Arthur Suidam? I'm not really sure.
Do you have a year of release on them?
My app does not show me that. Let me see if I can find out the web view here real quick.
I'm trying to figure out in terms of like seriousness, because like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, like they started out very, very serious and they got a bit more schlocky as it went on, and then like Wes Craven tried to get back to the serious meta stuff with New Nightmare.
No, these have Bruce Campbell's Ash in it. They'll be schlocky.
Nice.
And this is his Ash. This is his Army of Darkness.
So,
Ash. This is my boomstick. Give me some sugar, baby. Ash.
So the publisher is Dynamite Entertainment, and the publication date for the second one is 2009 to 2010.
Okay.
Now, Ryan, if you like these movies, you should watch the TV show.
I just might, man. Like I was having
That's
a
on
blast. I was having a blast.
Is that
with this.
Ash versus the Evil Dead show? Okay.
Yeah, and it's fucking hilarious.
Man, we're down a rabbit hole already. We haven't even gotten to the fucking questions or synopsis or anything.
Why don't
I warned
you
you.
hit us with the synopsis so we can get back on track?
Fair enough. I can't promise it'll be very good, but we'll see. We get an extended recap sequence of sorts that gives us a fairly large view of what took place during the first film. This is quite helpful for those of us who thought it'd be funny to just go straight into this one blind and see what happens. As such, we begin with Ash and his girlfriend hijacking a cabin of an anthropomorphologist, and, like any couple doing a trespassing, you automatically play all media devices for logbooks to fill out your side quests. Unfortunately, this actually activated the plot, in which demons and spirits took over the cabin, killed Ash's girlfriend, and eventually kind of possessed him after a series of horrific events, such as menstruating walls, becoming a lefty, and getting thrown down into some dark woods.
I hate when that happens.
I know, being a lefty sucks. Enter in the new fighters to the brawl, the daughter of the man who owns the cabin. I believe her name was Annie. Her boyfriend and 2 locals. They find the cabin has undergone a magneto treatment, and they can't get to the cabin by the road. So the locals take our new heroes to a trail that gets them to the cabin. Upon arrival, her parents are dead, and they find the bloody and slightly deranged Ash on the floor. They briefly question him and throw him into the locked basement because clearly he is guilty and does not deserve to explain himself. But, that's okay, because the demon will do that for him in short order, with more helpful narration from the tape recorder Ash found. They free Ash from the basement. The demon attempts to play more mind tricks on them, but it is revealed that if they read another passage to make the demon physical, they can defeat it with a second passage that sends it into a black hole of sorts. Of course, the local man with limited high school education rejects this idea in favor of splitting up into the mysterious woods to find his missing girlfriend. Ash becomes possessed during all this nonsense, and the group is easily dismantled. Eventually, Ash gets better, and he and Annie try reading the passages after a round of Slender in the basement.
Ugh.
Upon reading the passage, the local Trevenant population and a giant meat man attack the house. The daughter reads the second passage, and while being stabbed, and the black hole opens, sending the trees, the meat man, and Ash to another time in another place. Ash awakens in basically Camelot, which will lead to the next film in the trilogy, to be continued.
Hey, don't forget it took his car.
It did take his car. Yes.
It's very important.
This is hilarious because I've never seen Army of Darkness, but I know it exists, and I've seen that this is my boomstick meme. And so I was wondering how it was going to get there. And then when they're looking in the book and they see the image of the hero from the sky, I said, "Really? Oh, so you knew this was going there and you just like full throttle hit the gas towards it. Okay, it's fine."
Yeah, his speech about the boomstick in the third one is fucking hilarious. But that car has been in every single Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's Sam Raimi's car.
Somehow that does surprise me.
Yeah. It always has a bit part.
But what I was going to say, right, you brought up the whole meme thing. There are so many movies I have seen just through memes. It's ridiculous. Like, I think before I saw Aliens, the second one, about a decade ago, the memes were all over the place for it still. Game Over Man, Game Over, all that stuff. They only come out at night, mostly. Like, I've seen those memes everywhere, so it's something I described a few episodes back when I say I've seen a film through osmosis, where I haven't seen it, but I've seen enough about it to know what the film is and what happens in it. So I feel like Army of Darkness is in a very similar boat just because of meme culture and internet bullshit, for sure.
I had the feeling when I was watching Evil Dead, the original one, because I am a consummate professional and wanted to know everything about the series before talking about it. But no, I felt that way when I saw the original one and was like, oh, this is the originator of pretty much the setting of Cabin in the Woods. All right, that's great.
Well, I mean, I think the Cabin in the Woods concept probably exists beforehand, but yeah, the parallels between this and the Cabin in the Woods that we're both familiar with are like fucking right there. Like, you could see every little bit just one after the other. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I used to go to back when they used to do midnight shows of cult movies. I saw Evil Dead 2 several times.
That is not surprising.
During those viewings. Oh God, yes. People come dressed as everything. Ash. Back then, you could bring something that looks like a boomstick. Now, I'm pretty sure they'd arrest you for that.
Yeah.
But this is the '90s. No one has shot up the
time.
theater yet. Yeah. But yeah, those were blasts because that's the perfect type of movie for that kind of experience. Is one where you can yell at the screen.
Well, I think for a while they had that experience for your Marvels and your stuff like that, where they did the midnight releases. But again, after the shooting in Colorado a few years back, they just couldn't do that anymore. So yeah, things have changed quite a bit.
These were a little different because those were premiering new movies where you got a general audience to. These were ones that had been out like 20 years.
Yeah. That
you brought a very unique crowd to.
Gotcha.
I'd liken it to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Videos, like showings.
Usually lots of alcohol was involved. Things got thrown at the screen. Things of that nature.
Or the midnight showings of The Room.
Yeah, God. No, thank you.
Ryan, that might be an episode we do next year. Just so you know.
Please don't do that to
God.
me, please.
I will not be on that podcast.
Oh, see, what I'll do is I'll pretend it's a different episode, and then we'll just have that be the episode. It'll just be that all the time. It'll be great.
No. You know what's hilarious is that if we do it next year and I'm in Korea, I'll be recording these like in the morning. So that'll be interesting.
Man, we're going to figure out something for next year if and when we continue this somehow. We'll figure something. We'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
So before I get deep into any questions I've got, is there anything you guys want to talk about first that I may or may not have already brought up?
I should probably keep my mouth shut. Let you get to your questions, otherwise we'll be here another hour.
Right. Well, for my initial thoughts, as I mentioned, I am a consummate professional, and as I had never seen the original Evil Dead, I decided to watch that before, like, make it a double feature, essentially. I was surprised by the change in tone between the two, but ultimately I absolutely loved it. I felt like the original was trying its best to be an 80s horror movie, and for the most part did very well. And then in the sequel, they just kind of threw that out and said, you know what, we're just going to have a blast with it. And we're going to have Ash's disembodied hand give him the finger before scuttling off, and we're just gonna have fun. So
yeah. Well, some of that is Scott Spiegel, because that's kind of his humor that got in, and some of that is Sam Raimi's deadpan love for the Three Stooges, which you can obviously tell, because that whole cabin scene when Ash is alone is basically just a giant Three Stooges skit.
Yeah,
where everything's laughing at him.
Him dancing with the laughing appliances. I was just like,
putting the bowl over the hand that says a farewell to arms.
I honestly was worried that I had been drinking too much. I'm like, hold on, I think I might be losing my mind, because a farewell to arms was a tad too much. I'm like, come on, guys.
And that scene moves so quick too. So many things happen just so fast. Like you blink and you miss some of the references there too.
Yeah. Not if you've seen it
100
enough times.
I mean, I was looking at it and I saw the hand dragging Ash's entire body across the kitchen floor, and then he put a bucket over it, and I was just like, really? Really, dog? That's your answer? But then he put a farewell to arms, and I was just like, man, fuck you. You're just fucking with me at this point. Come on.
Just remember, Ash isn't the smartest man in the world. He's a simple blue-collar guy. Someone, if you listen to the audio commentary when you watch the movie, which I've done several times, because it's got...
Is it actually Bruce Campbell?
Sam,
oh my god.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, Rob Tapert, and Robert Kurtzman.
Oh yeah, I really have to watch that then.
So they're asking him, Bruce Campbell's like, yeah, when we first released it, everyone thought it was just a straight sequel. They didn't realize like that first 15 minutes was basically just remaking the first one. So their first questions were like, is Ash really that stupid? After escaping, he brought another girlfriend back to the same cabin? He's like, no. It's just a continuation, guys. A continuation.
Yeah, there's some interesting commentaries I've listened to before. Not to get super off topic, but one of the weirdest ones I've heard of is when you listen to anything that Arnold Schwarzenegger does, he literally just describes what's happening in the movie. He doesn't really go into detail, just like, oh yeah, this happened, that was kind of cool, and that's all it is. It's just like, it's very weird how he does it compared to everyone else, but it's also just very authentic, and I kind of appreciate just how weird it is.
Have you heard of the Ben Affleck Armageddon commentary?
I have not.
When he's questioning the director. What's his name?
Wow.
Motherfucking money, y'all.
I know this. Bruckheimer,
I
Jerry
just watched
Bruckheimer,
Yeah, Brooke.
and Michael
Yeah.
Bay. Yes.
Michael Bay. And he's questioning why Affleck's drunk. And he's questioning, wouldn't it have been easier for the oil drillers to teach NASA how to drill oil than NASA to teach oil drillers to go to space? Michael Bay told the
Man, movie's got a movie, dog. Come on. Don't ask these questions.
Oh, I asked those questions.
Man, I would love to see like,
I like
just a movie where they get like one of the CinemaSins guys on just to kind of riff with them a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the problem with like this movie, because obviously, you know, they were making this movie. They actually made it in a junior high school. Like all the interior cabin sets were made in a gymnasium.
Oh wow.
Only the exterior cabin sets were at an exterior cabin. And if you notice, even after Ash gets blood poured all over him, you'll get to like 2 scenes later, and he's barely got any on him.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I'm sitting there.
They had no person to do that, and they didn't shoot in order, so they had no way of doing how much he had on him. And they had to do reshoots and stuff like that, so there's no consistency.
Absolutely
to how much
none.
more he
Because
has on him. None.
I surely called that out in my own little Mystery Science Theater 3000 bit that I was doing with myself and my rum and coke. I was like, there's no way! His face is far too clean! He just had, like, a bucket of blood poured on him! What are you talking about?
Well, see, this is why I like this era of movies, because they were allowed to have mistakes in there. Like, some horror movies today are almost too perfect.
Yeah.
Where it's too shiny. Like, the 90s were really bad for that. Like, late 90s, early 2000s, when they started hiring every TV cast. Like the cast of Dawson's Creek being a horror movie. And stuff like that. It became too glossy
Dawson's
for me.
Creek means Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I like mine with mistakes and lots of
So
humor.
when you bring that up, I look back on it. I think to myself, I don't think I really ever paid attention to that. And it's not that I didn't like notice, but more just I attributed that to inconsistency more to the fact that it's just a very surreal landscape, and I figured the rules of continuity didn't necessarily apply to this nonsense.
No, they just didn't have anyone to pay attention to that.
Honestly,
the effects guys were too busy because there's like 4 of them doing all of the makeup and effects.
Honestly, it kind of felt a little more honest because like it's a very interesting dynamic it kind of has with my suspension of disbelief, because at no point do I ever consider this to be real, but it's the fact that there are those, not only are those mistakes, but there's also like the kind of blatant humor bits that I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like it's kind of having an honest dialogue with the storytellers as opposed to them like doing everything to keep the illusion of the story alive. And I had a really good time with that. It wasn't transportive, like it took me into the world of the movie, but it was honest for all of its storytelling foibles. You know what I mean?
They almost killed the redneck, the guy.
Oh yeah.
The scene where he gets when the demon grabs his head and pulls him underneath the stairs, and like that 1,000,000 gallons of blood pours out onto Ash again. Well, that was a hose, and it shot like 300 gallons of that blood in like 10
Jesus.
seconds.
Oh my god.
Well, they didn't have the hose set up right the first take, so it bounced off the door and went back into the face of the guy, the actor. So he got like all that blood hit on like 10 seconds. He's like, yeah, I almost drowned. It's like, amateur movie time.
Oh, that sounds terrifying when you think about it.
But he's been in most of Sam Raimi's films, even in bit parts. So these people are loyal.
There's something to that I find very amusing. Like, do any
Coen brothers.
I was gonna say, do other directors get that kind of treatment? Like, just they have actors who will just swear to them all the time. Like, I know, I know Michael Rourke is almost always in a James Gunn film, for example.
Yep.
Yeah, the Coen brothers have people that are always in their films. Kubrick did too. for most of them.
Which is,
Scorsese.
I was going to say, surprising for Kubrick considering how he's treated some of his people before.
Yeah. Well, they're usually smaller roles, and they weren't women. Because we all know how kindly he treated them. But yeah, it happens a lot. I mean, especially if that director gives you good roles.
Or at the very least, a steady
Why
paycheck.
wouldn't I work with him again? But the Coen brothers one of the Coen brothers actually helped edit this movie
Oh,
Really?
because they were friends with Sam Raimi too. All those people grew up in like Michigan and Minnesota, so they're all in the same area.
man, why could I have gotten like a neighborhood of friends to just get together and be like, we're going to make a movie and just
Exactly.
have some fun?
Like, why couldn't I have grown up with Sam Raimi? What the hell?
Why do you think I'm friends with you, Aaron? I'm just banking on you to make like an actual killer movie and put me in it.
Ryan, I'm an audio guy. Okay, we're gonna make the next Night Vale's what we're gonna do. Okay.
I'm down. I have good control of my voice. This will be good.
You are a very solid voice actor. Of all the people I've worked with, you do have a very good range.
I can put it together. Yeah.
I used to do the slapstick stuff in high school and college. Like, I'd throw myself on tables and break them, kind of like Chris Farley stuff. I'm pretty sure if I did that now, I'd break in half.
I was gonna say, hearing that from you is very surprising. I wouldn't have pegged you for that.
No, man. We made for economics class in high school, we had to make a commercial. You had to film it and everything. We decided to make an action movie commercial. So I got into the hood of my friend's car and held onto the hood as he drove 25 miles an hour down the road
What?
filming in high school. And then he hit the brakes and I flew off into the ditch. But I barrel rolled. I was fine.
You know how to tuck and roll. It's fine.
I'm sure I had some cuts and bruises. We got an
So
A.
many concerns.
Teacher's like, how'd you pull that off? I'm like, Hollywood magic. Because we sure as hell weren't going to tell them how we acted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to be not as brittle.
I find it hard to believe, but I believe it.
I didn't get sick till I was like 26.
Fair.
And from that point on, I've been sick. But no, before then, I got hurt a lot.
Ryan, do you have any fascinating injury stories you want to share with us?
Shit. Wow.
I tried to catch a shot put. Broke out my front two teeth
No.
and the lower part of my lip. My freshman year of high school. My dad made me go to school the next day. My dentist appointment wasn't until 3. He made me go the next day to teach me a lesson about being stupid and costing him money. So
That's kind of fair in all considerations.
it is. Oh, it's fair. It's perfectly fair. I was stupid and I cost him money. So no, I wasn't blaming him for it.
I hadn't made. I don't think I have an interesting injury story. But when I was in high school, I did do track and field, and I threw shot put and discus. And in my final meet of senior year, I knew I wasn't going to win any titles for our final meet. So I decided to just have some fun with it. And in my final discus throw, I actually yelled out "Destructo disc." And literally everybody around just started laughing, just died laughing. And somebody recorded it, and then they watched it again in real time. It was just a blast.
I wish I could have been there for that. That just sounds amazing.
I got hit in the chest with a Reaper.
Oh, God.
It ripped my shirt in
Oh,
half.
Jesus.
Only slight cuts on my chest. That was my best friend. It was
I would imagine.
trying to hit me. He wasn't trying to hit me. He's trying to cut a trail, and he wasn't very good at it.
So anyway, I have a list of questions here. Are you gentlemen ready for this?
I am.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, Ryan, this will be harking back to some podcasts we've already done. Derek, I'm sure you've seen both these enough to have an idea. As discussed in Slither and Ghostbusters, how well does this film balance comedy and horror, and what works and what doesn't?
So for me, I feel like this one definitely dips just like fully into comedy. I feel like it uses the horror as a setting rather than like act like intention, like really trying to scare the audience. It was really just like having a blast with it, or at least that's how I felt when I was watching it. There was a lot more attention to detail with like the building of suspense in the original movie, and I feel like with this one it was just let's just have some fun with it. Slither, I feel like the balance was a little more evenly struck, where there were elements of suspense, but there were also elements of just like pure body horror. Like it used comedy to offset how gross they could make the shit. And with this one, I feel like it's just going for more funny than more gross or scary.
Yeah, there's no horror here. They left the horror in the first one. This is basically just horror comedy. You're never scared watching this movie.
Yeah.
At least I was never scared watching this movie.
Maybe a jump scare or two, but nothing beyond that.
Nothing beyond that. And the third one's even less so. But yeah, it's not. I mean, they definitely dove headfirst into comedy, and kind of old school comedy at that.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the original Evil Dead, how much does that add to the story of or experience of this film? You both can answer this for me, so go ahead, tell me.
It's not really necessary.
It's really not, considering they remake the first movie in the first 15 minutes and write out an entire 3 characters that came with them.
I was gonna say, do those 3 characters have any bearing at all in future events, or is it just like they were just cannon fodder?
Yeah, no, his sister does.
Okay.
Because his sister was in the first one, and she dies, and that plays a part in the TV series.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay.
But
So I guess,
but for this movie and the next movie, no.
so I guess I am very curious then. So what does the TV series entail? Obviously, don't go
So-
deep into spoilers. But like, just what does it do?
No. So basically, it's Ash as his age is now.
Okay.
He didn't realize he got drunk and high, and again accidentally read from the book. He's living in a trailer, and it releases demons. He gets 2 helpers this time, Pablo and I think her name's Angela. And then Xena Warrior Princess shows up as well.
What? Like actual Lucy Lawless?
No, Lucy Lawless. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's married to Rob Taper, who's a producer.
Wait.
Who was a producer
Hold
of this
on,
movie?
hold on. Are we talking like Xena as in like just the actress, or Xena as in the characters also?
The actress.
Okay.
The actress. Not Xena Warrior. No, the literal Warrior Princess is not.
Okay.
Xena the actress.
I was gonna say that might be a bridge too far there.
Now, Ash vs. Evil Dead has some horror. Like it's got more horror than this, but it definitely also has comedy, and it's mostly at Bruce Campbell's expense.
Fair.
All right, I feel like I really
Well
need to
earned.
watch this now. God damn.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix? Oh, fuck yeah. I'm
Yeah,
absolutely
if you have
watching
Netflix,
that.
I'm pretty sure it's there.
I'm absolutely watching it.
Well, Ryan, we should probably check out the 3rd movie first and then watch that series.
I guess.
You really should, Ryan, because the third movie has some just killer one-liners. Just killer.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to read this Versus comic because I want to see him fight Freddy and Jason because it just sounds like a good time.
I might actually read that too because I've never actually read it. I knew it existed.
Well, so it's funny you say that. So when we did the Ghostbusters podcast very recently, we found out there's a whole slew of crossovers with Ghostbusters that make no goddamn sense but are absolutely hilarious to exist.
Oh my god.
They've crossed over with TMNT. They've crossed over with the Transformers. It's ridiculous.
Well, everyone likes a crossover.
Yeah, but like, just I would not have imagined they'd make the Ecto-1 a Transformer in the process. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But at the same
And
time, that sells toys.
the third movie's basically Ash versus Ash, because it's Ash versus Evil Ash
Oh my god, really?
that gets created when he doesn't read the words right because he's going to get the book, and the wise men tell him the 3 words he has to read, and they're like, "You have to do them just right." And he goes, "Yeah, I got it." And he goes there and he's like, "Klaatu, Verata, okay, I guess I was right." Grabs the book.
Well, spoilers for a 40-year-old movie, I guess.
Yeah. Trust me, it's not.
I gotta wonder if you're dyslexic, does that kind of fuck it up?
Well,
No, only if you're just a moron.
I mean, if they actually like speak the words aloud to you, dyslexia wouldn't fuck that up.
That's true. That's true. Okay, next question here. What do you make of the practical effects used in the film, and how well do they age?
Oh, I love them. I so prefer my horror movies to have practical effects. I hate CGI blood with a passion. It looks fake. They almost never get it right. I want over-the-top practical effects, even if they look fake. And, yeah, some of these effects look fake, obviously. It's made in 1986. But, I mean, it's some of the best visual effects artists we have today. We're all starting on this movie.
Well, I still hold up, in relation to CGI versus practical, I still hold up that the original animatronics used on Jurassic Park look way better than any of the CGI dinosaurs in the newer ones. Like, no question.
Exactly. Yep. So, no, I love these practical effects.
Yeah.
No matter how much they tortured Ted Raimi.
Yeah, I feel like they don't look real, but they're so indicative of their time that replacing them feels bad. Like it feels like it feels like 80s and 90s, and it's exactly how it's supposed to feel. So I absolutely love it. It doesn't look real, but it's not supposed to.
I guess my question following up that would be: is there any time that you prefer CGI over the practical effects?
I can handle like a mix of both. Because there are some things you just can't do with CGI or with practical effects, which you'll discover in the 3rd movie.
Oh God!
But that ups the cost of a movie so much that it kind of takes away the freedom they had in this movie.
Yeah.
Because basically this movie cost nothing. So the the Dino De Laurentiis didn't mess with anything.
It only
"Yeah, just go
costs
do
in
whatever you
hospital fees, right?
Yeah, he's like, not even that. I don't think he ever went to the hospital. And you know, all those, what are they called? Contact lenses that they wear. You notice when everyone would turn a demon, they had those white contact lenses.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't see.
They could.
You're blind. You're blind. So they had to practice the whole scene without the contact lenses in. And then they had to do the whole scene blind. So if you watch, like Ted Raimi in the fat suit, sometimes like hits his head on wooden boards.
Oh my God!
Because he has no idea where he's at. If you look when Bruce Campbell's running through the house to get away from the demon that's chasing him towards the beginning, where the house seems like it's 8 times the size it actually is, busting through doors. If you look up in the scene, you see that there's no roof. You can see workmen, and you can see everything that's up there. Because it was a 2-story set, and they didn't bother covering the roof.
Every time Derek gives me one of these insights, I have to resist the urge to pull up the movie while you're talking so that I can look at these things. Because I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. It is something I want to write down on the list of things to check out again later.
Well, watch the making of. Like, if you have the access to it, like it's like an hour and 20 minutes. Robert Kurtzman video recorded a lot of shit on the set, and then they made their own little film about a demon baby that they brought back to life that was chasing them all down because they were bored apparently on a rainy day. Don't ask me. I don't know how they ever cleaned that junior high school to get back to going, but
they closed it down. It's condemned. It's done. It's over.
Well, apparently the town was still kind of segregated.
Oh God!
And all these guys are from California, like Kurtzman and all them. They went to a laundromat to do their laundry, and they noticed they were the only 2 white people in there. And someone walked up to him and goes, "Yeah, you guys really aren't supposed to be in here. The white laundromat's across the street." And they're like, we go to the white laundromat, and it's got like arcades, a gift
What
shop,
the fuck?
like food. Yeah, he goes, yeah, that was a real culture shock. Like, yeah, imagine it was. That's why you all basically lived on the set.
I just, my brain hurts just thinking that towns like that existed up in the 1980s, like almost 1990s.
Ah, the South.
Bruh, there are still sundown towns, but let's not get into that just yet.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Remember that podcast I was telling you guys about that got you all depressed at the end last week?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
the Irish?
I'm a little more aware of the stuff that pertains to my own race.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I listened to the second part of that this week, and apparently the Catholic Church in Ireland, these basically slave laborers that they use these women for, that, you know, had a child out of wedlock and stuff, they basically got to arrest them and use them as slave labor. They put the board games together for Hasbro up until the 90s.
Oh jeez.
Slave labor, Hasbro, yay! So that Monopoly game you own was probably put together by people who weren't.
And this is why I play D&D.
Yep, this is why we play D&D.
Couldn't resist. Okay, next question here. Why does everyone make the mistake of reading passages from evil books out loud? And would reading passages silently to yourself have any effect?
It's not everyone. It's Ash.
Well, no.
He needs to stop.
I'm referencing other works too, like The Mummy also does this kind of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I actually kind of like the fact that they actually kind of work around this with the Evil Dead 1 and 2 by having the incantations be on be on tape. So it's like they're not even reading it, they're just listening to the tape. And then this learned man decided to say, alright, so I'm now going to record the demon summoning incantation for you. Ba 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 ba.
Yeah,
And then the next
no one really...
and then the next entry is, so upon that recording, my wife was possessed by a demon, so that's not great. I probably should put a disclaimer before this next bit.
2 parts. Nobody ever really believes it's going to raise demons when they read that. Second part, no one would ever believe Ash could read a language other than English.
Right.
And barely English. At that, so...
It's not written in IPA. There's no, like, phonetic spelling. Like, how the fuck are you reading this?
Yeah.
What are those English characters? What the fuck?
Nope. Baked in human flesh, written in blood.
Oh boy. Let's see. Is there a deeper meaning behind characters becoming demonically possessed? And if so, what would that be?
I think Derek would be more apt to
Sorry,
answer
what was the
this
first
one.
part of that?
Is there a deeper meaning behind the characters becoming demonically possessed? And if so, what would that be?
No, and there's no rhyme or reason to it either. Because it looks like, oh, when they get bit and injured, they become possessed, but that doesn't always happen either. And apparently, you know, no one else can fight it off except Ash, for some reason.
It's because he has the pendant that he bought his girlfriend. That looks like a magnifying glass for some odd reason.
It is a magnifying glass.
Oh my goodness.
It literally is. Because it was
as Dumbledore would tell you, Ryan, it's love, Ryan. It's always been love.
No, Ryan. That was supposed to be in the first movie. It's like a $4 thing they bought at a jewelry store. And they were going to use it because it was going to be how Ash figured out that you had to burn the book. When that was going to be the original ending of the first movie.
He was going to use the magnifying glass at night to burn the book?
No, because it's starting to be daylight. And sun comes through it and like smokes the book. That's when he realizes, oh, throw it in the fire. So that was the whole purpose of that thing, but they cut all that out.
Wow.
So, but they still had it. So it became some cheesy gift he gave his girlfriend. Yeah. Speaking of Xena's husband, Rob Tapert, apparently he's kind of like one of those old perverts. But like they were talking about the girl that plays his girlfriend in this movie. The shirt she's wearing, that Michigan State shirt, the one that's like Velcroed to her upper torso. They had 2 shirts they were going to test for this. One was just a normal hanging T-shirt, and then the other one was that. And apparently Rob Tabor's quote goes, "Well, obviously there's no discussion. It's the Velcro shirt."
What?
And Bruce Campbell's like, "What? God dang it, Rob!" And every time they left the set, it ended up being something like that, because that is also that first scene in the first movie. I'm sure Ryan knows which one I'm talking about. The one questionable scene
With the trees?
Yeah, exactly. That was Rob Tapert putting that in when Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were in England, trying to not get the movie put on the Video Nasties list, so they could make some money.
I was like,
Yeah, which they changed it in this one. She didn't get. She at least wasn't raped in this one by a tree.
I was like, where,
She just got taken.
where's that branch going, guys? Where is that?
80s. It's the 80s. Like, literally, like, 80s action movies and 80s horror movies. The only way you can motivate the male hero to do anything was either to rape or murder his woman. It's like, really, guys? Like, you couldn't just kidnap her? Like, the hell, 80s. And I grew up then.
Yeah, that was questionable. That was quite questionable in the first movie.
In the whole series, that's really only questionable between the TV show and those three movies.
Good God.
The only thing that would be canceled.
All because someone else had to just stick their weird business in it.
Yep, he got to marry Lucy Lawless.
It was the branch. It was the branch. Yeah, no, I wrote it off as being the 80s, but I was just like, but still, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't be seeing that in Doctor Strange.
Hopefully not.
That'd be a new step for Marvel.
Among many other things.
Yeah.
Okay, last two questions here. What significance is there that it's Ash's hand that kills Annie in the end?
That any girl Ash gets close to apparently dies, and that's a consistent theme.
Not too surprising, honestly.
I don't know. It's probably just because they still had that hand effect, and they're like, let's just use it again.
I mean, the hand was such a hilarious part of the first fourth of the movie. I mean, having it come back makes a lot of sense.
Fair enough. Final question I've got, and then we'll be wrapping up here shortly. Should we return for Army of Darkness? Why or why not?
Yes, and I will be there.
Well, that'll be on our potential list of films for next year, because next year we may be doing the whatever the hell we feel like theme, where we just pick every movie out of a hat we possibly can. But we will. Well, Ryan, I've already told you about this idea, so we'll discuss that with all of our guests that we've had on this series and see what they want to do. I know Chaz enthusiastically already put down like a dozen of them, so.
Oh, I could make you a list, but most of them would be maybe too much for Ryan.
Oh God! Have you guys seen? Don't hit me with the A24 horror. All right, that's.
My favorite horror.
I have a hard time sleeping afterwards.
Have either of you ever seen Dead Alive?
It was originally on our zombie list, but I pushed it back for reasons I can't remember.
It's hard to get a hold of. It's not really available anywhere. It's not even on Amazon, so you're gonna have lots of trouble getting a hold of it.
Oh boy!
But that one, holy bejesus! I wouldn't call it scary, but gory. Like Peter Jackson, took some large inspiration from The Evil Dead and then did it 100 times more.
Oh man!
And grosser.
Oh, okay. I remember why I kicked it back now, because I didn't know if Ryan wanted to do a gross movie. I figured I'd spare him that one for now.
I have some difficulty with body horror. That will throw me for a loop.
It's got fun. It's comedy too, though. It's got a priest kung fu fighting zombies saying, "I kick ass for the Lord."
Oh my God! Is that where that meme comes from?
Yeah, that's where that meme comes from. So yeah, if you ever have a chance, that one's pretty good too. Although it's incredibly hard to get a hold of. Not quite as hard as Jesus Christ Vampire Killer, which is a Canadian movie. I saw I'm pretty sure it was made for all of $20.
You know, the human filmmaking experience is amazing to me.
And we've learned so much about it tonight, didn't we?
That's why I'm here. weird, offbeat horror movies.
Before we do the mail calls, is there anything else you two want to bring up real quick?
They are making another Evil Dead movie.
I saw that. So when I was looking up info to fill in for the script tonight, it actually did say there was one, I think, either in development or in planning or something like that.
Yep. And it's not... Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are producing it. But Bruce isn't going to be in it. He's too old at this point. Maybe he'll have a cameo or something.
Probably a cameo, yeah.
But it's going to take place in a city.
Ooh.
Is all I know.
Huh.
Like the remake, if you've ever seen it, is it's a high quality horror movie, but it's not really Evil Dead. It takes place in a cabin. It's got a similar story.
Does it take
But
itself too
there's-
seriously?
Well, yeah, it's a much more scarier movie.
Mm.
Like I would say it's more first one than last one, than second one, but it's much scarier. Like, and the guy's a good director. And the gore is good, the cast is good, but man, that's not what I think of when I think of Evil Dead.
It lacks a certain
I
charm.
think of some comedy. Yeah, I think of the comedy and the less slick. But it's a quality horror movie. It's just not what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. Well, if you want to give us your suggestions for films to start doing for 2022, or if you insist that we do Army of Darkness, you can hit us up on the social media. That is Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. You can also let us know in the comments below, either here on YouTube or on patreon.com/RecessCastProductions. And Ryan, if they want to email us directly with their suggestions, where can they email us at?
They can email us at Nosferatus Alamemnon Kanda. Excuse me. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
Indeed. And also, a writer, if you are on various platforms of choice for podcasting, leave us some reviews to help us get more visibility and help people find us easier. So reviews are always handy. 5 stars, thumbs ups, whatever.
Hey, nice try, Ryan. I'm pretty sure this year somebody's already done the demons this past year.
Yeah.
Have you not experienced this world?
Well, I figured it was safe to try the incantation since like it couldn't have happened like twice in a row, you know?
I wonder what happened to the 2020 demons. I mean, I don't think they've gone away, but they're certainly not like in full force anymore.
They went the way of the murder hornets.
Of course.
What happened to the murder hornets? They were just like in the news for a week and then we just forgot about them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just found one a couple weeks ago.
What was that?
They found one a couple weeks ago up in Oregon.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
Stop trying to
just
make
can't
murder
break up
hornets
there.
happen. It's not gonna happen.
Hashtag give me murder hornets. This is the part of the show where we eventually rank the film from platinum to trash all that comes in between.
Eventually.
Derek, as the guest of the show, would you like to do the honors of going first?
Yeah, I think you all know where this is going. All right, is there something above platinum, or I could just go platinum?
Platinum plus.
Yeah, this is platinum. This is platinum. I could anytime this is on, I can watch it. It's never gotten old for me. I can most of the time we exaggerate how many times we've seen a movie, but I can honestly say I've seen this movie more than 100 times. It was probably a weekly thing in college with my friends. So yeah, this is definitely platinum.
Fair point. Ryan, where do you sit?
I think for the sheer amount that it adds to the horror genre, in terms of just like kind of like just like various references and whatnot, I definitely want to give it a silver. I had a lot of fun with it. It was. I'm not sure if it's required viewing, but also I'm not the hugest horror person. So if you are really a horror aficionado, I think the Evil Dead series is definitely something you are going to either have seen or need to see to inform the rest of your experience. But aside from that, I think it's just a grand old time. It's 80s schlocky horror at its best, and when it stops taking itself seriously between 1 and 2, it gives itself license to have a lot of fucking fun with itself. So I think anybody who decides to watch it, pour yourself up a drink and get ready to just have a blast with some friends. I think it's definitely a good time for anybody involved.
Absolutely. I will play the middle card, the middle child, the what have you, and I'll go gold. I can't say it's absolute perfection, but I think it falls cleanly in between good company like Cabin in the Woods, Slither, stuff like that, Ghostbusters, where it's the blend of humor and the blend of horror, and or at least horror as a set dressing, and it delivers really well on all accounts. And if you like the genre, if you like the stuff these kind of films can do, you'll have a very fun time with it. And I think the one that holds me back from putting it higher is just it does feel like it's very chaotic and a very like first film low budget kind of thing. It's not bad, but you could definitely tell this feels like it's scrapped together a little bit, which isn't bad, but there is definitely some polish that a little extra time and a little extra budget could have probably helped with just a little bit.
But there's a certain charm for it not being so
Oh yeah,
polished.
no, of course. Well, that is all I have for this episode. Tune in. So the schedule's very weird because the original plan was to have one of the Ghostbusters movies be part of the main schedule, but because of delays, it's now an episode you're getting as a bonus for next month. We may move up an episode of our video game season to next week, or we may put something else there. I don't know yet. You're getting a review of something next week. You'll find out what it is. I'll find out what it is next time. Thank you for listening. We'll see you after the credits.
Bye.
Bye.